We've all heard about the importance of protein. We all know that it's the building block of our body, and without it, muscle building is impossible. And we've all come across advertisements for protein supplements at some point. But what if you drink proteins every day? Will it give you muscle gains? Will it enhance your health? What effect will it have? Or maybe it shouldn't be taken at all. What's the optimal approach? In this video, we'll answer all of those questions. So watch it to the end. It'll be very useful and interesting. Let's get started. By the way, be sure to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell. Don't miss out on any of our new videos. Protein comes in different types. There's soy, whey, eggs, and milk. They all have certain characteristics. There are usually 20 amino acids. There are over 100 of them in nature. But in our body, there are 22. And amino acids are a very important component in metabolism and also serve as a building material, including for muscles. The daily requirement for protein for a person who does not do sports and is generally not physically active is about 0.8 to 1 gram per kilogram of body weight. For a person who's generally physically active, it's recommended to consume 1 to 1.5 grams of protein for each kilogram of body weight. For a person who works out in the gym for muscle mass, it's recommended to consume 1.5 to 2 grams of protein for each kilogram of body weight. As a rule, it's not recommended to consume more than 2 grams of protein. Usually, this amount is only consumed by professional bodybuilders. Is protein harmful? Actually, no. In and of itself, it's harmless. But if we exaggerate the daily dosage that I just mentioned, it is very possible to harm ourselves. Another question is whether we can harm ourselves in the same way if we eat too much cottage cheese or too much meat or other sources of protein. Excessive amounts of protein will put a big load on our kidneys and liver and will not add muscles. If we are practicing strength training, our need for protein increases. But then you ask a question. What's the point of using these powdered proteins when you can eat meat and other natural sources of protein? What's the point? I would agree with you. Indeed, natural food is much better. After all, in addition to proteins, it'll have vitamins, minerals, trace elements, flavonoids, and other substances that are necessary and beneficial to our body than in just an isolated protein powder. And that's true. But there are several reasons to consume protein, and sometimes it's advisable. In what cases is it appropriate? One of them is for a snack. When we, due to our work schedule, don't have the opportunity to eat meat under normal conditions or to eat a normal portion of normal food. All day long, for example, we're on the road. In this situation, taking protein with us is a good option. It'll help us to stop the catabolic processes, so that the body does not start to use amino acids from our muscles as energy. We just take the protein and maintain the diet. That's a great option. Another beneficial function of protein is to consume it immediately after a workout. There is even such a recommendation that after a workout, it's recommended not to eat too much, because all the blood and resources of our body have gone to the sympathetic nervous system. The blood has flown from the intestine to the muscles. Therefore, immediately after a strength training session, it's recommended to eat something very soft for our stomach and intestines. And this is where whey protein comes in brilliantly. It's quickly digested and does not strain our gastrointestinal tract in any way. Another property of whey protein is that it's quickly digested, faster than any other protein source. And that's exactly what we need right after a workout, to get an immediate portion of amino acids into our bloodstream. So the strategy is this. After training, we can take about 20 to 30 grams of whey protein, it's about an ounce, and then after about an hour and a half, we can have a full meal with carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. This tactic works very well and helps to gain quality muscle mass. This is another argument in favor of protein if we're trying to lose fat. In this situation, we will cut down the total calorie intake at the expense, first of all, of carbohydrates. Here, protein isolated is perfect to protect your muscles from catabolism and at the same time to lose weight. But the most important question is, if I went to the gym to work out, if I drink 1 serving or 2 servings of protein every day, would I gain more muscle? You will definitely have more muscle if you had an amino acid deficiency before. If you weren't deficient before, you probably won't get more muscle. And in this regard, putting excess protein into your body will simply not be worthwhile. Here, we must approach our question rationally. If we can create ideal conditions for training, nutrition, and recovery, then our diet should regularly include meat, fish, poultry, and other sources of protein. Then, only whey protein can be consumed immediately after a strength training session. But we don't all have perfect schedules. In this regard, we simply need to calculate our daily protein requirement. That is, for athletes, it's about 1.5 to 2 grams for each kilogram of body weight. There are a large number of calculators, guides, and tables where each product is painted on the content of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. It's necessary to carry out a certain calculation to find out how much protein you eat per day. And here, for many of us, there may be surprises. We can either underconsume or overconsume it. Things happen, and it's important to understand that. So I'd encourage you to take this kind of calculation and just do it. It takes just a little bit of time, maybe 10 minutes, and you can discover a lot on your own. If we are not getting enough protein and adding quality live food to our daily schedule is simply impossible, then we can add liquid protein to our daily diet. However, if you are going to half or even more of your protein intake with powdered supplements, then I strongly recommend that you rethink your approach to nutrition. After all, it's a supplement, not the main component of our diet. A substitute cannot be a base. And there's another very important part. After we have calculated our daily protein requirement, we should never consume the entire daily dose in one take. It should be broken down into 3 to 5 meals per day. Several studies have shown that when we exceed a certain amount of protein in a meal, our excretory system begins to simply evacuate in excess. As a rule, for people who aren't athletic, this upper threshold is about 30 grams of protein. It's 1 ounce. But for those who are regularly engaged in sports, this threshold is raised to 50 grams of protein, almost 2 ounces. That is, you should not take more than 30 to 50 grams of protein at a time. The most optimal is 4 to 5 meals, where proteins are distributed evenly. By the way, write in the comments, have you ever taken protein or do you prefer only natural sources of protein? Let us know your thoughts. It'll be interesting to see what you have to say. And now, it's very important for you to check out my other video, where I tell you what happens if you do pull-ups every day. This video is a great addition to what I just talked about. The link to the video just appeared on the screen, and the link's also in the description, and I also pinned it in the top comment. Make sure to check it out. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. I'll see you on the video about pull-ups.